This is VOA News. I'm Alexis Strope. Israel will get its second high-level U.S. visit in 2 days as the Biden administration continues a deliberate show of support amid the war with Hamas. AP correspondent Sagar Meghani reports.
Today it was Secretary of State Antony Blinken.
We will always be there by your side.
Tomorrow it'll be Pentagon Chief Lloyd Austin.
We're working urgently to get Israel what it needs to defend itself, including munitions and Iron Dome interceptors.
The visits to Israel come as the administration works to get Americans out if they choose.
The United States government will arrange charter flights to provide transportation from Israel to sites in Europe.
National Security Council spokesman John Kirby says it's unclear how many Americans may want to leave. Sagar Meghani, Washington.
The chief of NATO says the alliance will hold a major nuclear exercise next week. The announcement by Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg came after Russia warned it would pull out of a global nuclear test ban agreement. NATO's, quote, steadfast noon exercise is held annually and involves fighter jets capable of carrying nuclear warheads, but no live bombs are used. Stoltenberg said Thursday, quote, this is a routine training event that happens every October. It will involve 13 NATO allies and a mix of aircraft types, including advanced fighter jets and U.S. B-52 bombers. UN officials say more than 90% of the people killed by a 6.3 magnitude earthquake in western Afghanistan were women and children. Taliban officials say more than 2,000 people of all ages and genders across Herat province died in Saturday's quake. The chief of the UNICEF field office in the province said Thursday that women and children were more likely to have been at home when the morning quake struck. You'll find expanded coverage of world news and events at our website, voanews.com. This is VOA News. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has vowed U.S. support for Israel as Israeli airstrikes continue to pound Gaza. AP correspondent Karen Shamus reports.
Gaza's skyline was filled with plumes of smoke rising to meet the clouds as new Israeli strikes continued into the daytime. One building demolished by an Israeli missile left residents scrambling to lift the twisted metal and concrete in hope of finding survivors. Hospitals were overloaded with injured, some wailing in pain as they were wheeled in on stretchers as the missiles rained overhead. International aid groups have warned of a worsening humanitarian crisis after Israel halted deliveries of food, water, fuel and electricity to Gaza's 2.3 million people. I'm Karen Shamas.
The Israel-Palestinian war rolled into a sixth day of fighting since Hamas launched its attack. Rick Pantaleo tells us about possible escalations in hostilities.
The Israeli military is preparing for a possible ground operation in Gaza, but political leadership has not decided on one. Hamas, meanwhile, said it is seeking to end Palestinians' suffering, which they say has become intolerable under unending Israeli military occupation in the West Bank and a 16-year-long blockade in Gaza. In an interview after meeting with victims of a Hamas attack in Israel, British Foreign Secretary James Cleverly says Hamas does not represent all Palestinians.
Of course, it's really important that we recognize that Hamas, a terrorist organization, does not speak on behalf of the Palestinian people as a whole, or indeed the Arab people within the region that have perpetrated atrocities both in southern Israel and, of course, with the kidnapped people that they've taken into Gaza.
Rick Pantaleo, VOA News.
U.S. Senator Bob Menendez is facing another indictment. AP correspondent Shelley Adler reports.
Federal prosecutors in New York City have rewritten their indictment against Senator Bob Menendez and his wife to charge them with conspiring to have him act as an agent of Egypt and Egyptian officials. The superseding indictment, which was filed in Manhattan federal court, says the conspiracy occurred from January 2018 to June of 2022. The new charge comes just weeks after the New Jersey Democrat and his wife were accused of accepting bribes from 3 New Jersey businessmen who wanted the senator's help and influence over foreign affairs. The couple has pleaded not guilty. I'm Shelley Adler.
The European Commission has made a formal, legally binding request for information from Elon Musk's social media platform X over its handling of hate speech, misinformation, and violent terrorist content related to the Israel-Hamas war. It's the first step in what could become the EU's inaugural investigation under the Digital Services Act. I'm Alexis Strope, VOA News.
Thank you for watching. Can you do me a favor? Please leave a comment in the comments section below. That would really help. Thank you, and see you again soon.